What's good, my peoples? I'm here with none other than Brian Bo McIntyre. What's up with you? What's up with you, Coach?
What's going on, baby? What's going on? How you doing?
Nothing much, man. Just got the pleasure of watching you work.
Yeah.
You know, and looking at being able to see a little bit of your strategy and how you do things. You know.
Yeah, we try to touch everything. You know what I'm saying? Touch. You know, we got 3 different coaches that we work with, work different shit. So we just try to get the job done. You know, make the fighter understand what we're doing and why we're doing it. You know, we also go in the classroom too. So
Right.
you know, go in that classroom with the fighters. Kind of, it's like blind leading the blind.
Yeah. What goes into that format? You know, you got multiple, coaches. You know, how does that work, man?
Well, one thing about it is, you know, before we even take on the challenge, we watch the fighter himself.
Right.
Try to see what he's doing wrong, see what he does right, try to capitalize on it, and try to fix it in between fights.
Right.
And then when fight time comes, we watch who he's fighting and, work on stuff that he needs to work on as far as whatever his opponent is doing good, how we could take away from it and all that.
And I like to always ask this coach, from coach's standpoints, when you have multiple different fighters, and like you have, for instance, Bud, you got Steve, they're different weight classes. Now Chris, in different weight classes and different skill sets. Is it that you just teach your teachings, or you do it based off of their skill set?
Well, just go off basically what their skill set is. If one fighter could do one thing really well, we try to find out what he can't do too well and try to improve that.
Right.
And it's like I said, when he's fighting somebody that does something really good, you want to try to take that away from him, handicap his ass.
Right.
And then, whatever we've been working on at camp is, try to emphasize it in the corner.
Right. Now, obviously, you had a big victory where Terrence got this huge victory. He created history. He was the first undisputed champion with all 4 belts at junior welterweight. Now he's the first undisputed 4-belt era world champion at welterweight, and the first male to do it in 2 separate weight classes. And he did it in dominating fashion that nobody expected but you. You the only person throughout this whole time that told me and told the world, this is gonna be easy. This is gonna be easy. And to the shock of many people outside of yourself, it was easy. Why was it so easy?
Well, one thing that we did, man, is, we built up for that fight. When I say build up to it, we got our weight up, we got our knowledge up, and we just train. We train. And like I said before, in between fights, we work on different shit. And so when the fight came, when it got made and it was time to come, we already had been working on it. So it was really easy to go into camp and emphasize on, like, for instance, his jab. We work day in and day out on that jab. Stiff jab, to the gut, to the head. We work countering the jab. We work on pushing him back because, he wasn't used to getting pushed back. He was used to getting pushed forward. Arrows is a downhill boxer. He come down on top of you. So we figure if we just move our legs, stop him in his tracks and utilize, what he did good, which was his jab, his body work, we'll be able to take him. We'll be able to beat him really easy. And when I was saying that because we had been working on it for years. Even though we still had other guys in front of us, when the time came around, we was working on it. We got free time in the gym. We was working on it. We talked about it. We dreamed about it. We did everything that we were supposed to do to get that victory.
And today's time, people can't accept what they saw, what they witnessed. That the main thing is that Terrence was stronger than Errol. Everybody was shocked. Everybody automatically assumed Terrence starting off in the lower weight class, moving up. Errol's the bigger, stronger guy. But there was a point in time in the fight, in the second round, right before the knockdown, where Errol went to lean in and push Bud off his square, and Bud he never budged. never took a step, not even a half step back. His feet never moved, and he pushed Errol off his square, and then 2 seconds later, he gets the knockdown. What was it about that surprised so many people that Bud is so strong?
Well, probably because he's a much smaller fighter. You know, a lot of those 47 pounders is pretty big. So, you know, one thing we did, we just got stronger. And I think where they totally messed up at is they let Bud grow into the weight. When I say grow into the weight, when he became 147 pounder, he still was 140 pounder, but he had just dominated 140 pounder class and he had nowhere else to go. So, you know, what else to do? We're gonna move up. And so that whole time, you know, we calling out Arrow, we calling out them other guys, but they would never fight us. You know the politics of boxing. But at the same time, we was getting bigger, we was getting stronger, we was getting smarter, like we were supposed to do, you know? And so the outcome was just that, just the way it was. And that's why I was so confident about, you know, what Bud was going to do to Arrow, because, you know, what we've been through, you know, what I seen as a trainer. I seen him a B-level fighter, and you know, many trainers can pick that type of style apart. You know, I'm taking nothing away from him. He's a hell of a fighter. He accomplished a lot in that division and in boxing. But what I seen and what I know that Bud can do, it was just too easy for us.
And I tell this to people, since Bud became a world champion, 2014, he's only went the distance 3 times in that entire equation. 3 times. Not to mention he's never went the distance in the welterweight division, but since becoming a world champion, he's only went the distance a total of 3 times. Now, we heard today, Derrick James came out and he stated, well, yesterday, he came out and he stated the rematch is going to be different, and he believes that Errol is the better fighter all the way around, that Errol just had a bad night. And he's a better fighter, he's a better boxer, and that the rematch will be at 154, and everything is going to be different in this fight. And he guarantees that Errol will be victorious in the rematch. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts is, you know, I'm gonna put it out there before I would really want to say nothing about his style or anything, because I would just say we're gonna beat him. You can't change that much. You can't really change that much. What more can he do different but try to overpower Bud? You know, of course we gonna get stronger. You know, of course we gonna you know, do what we need to do. We know what he's gonna bring to the table, so I don't see much difference in the style and what he's gonna be able to do. He's just giving me more time to go back in that bag, because there's a lot of stuff in that bag we didn't have to go in there. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I wish him the best. We welcome the challenge, so we get the same results.
So do you think the weight is going to, obviously they feel like the weight is going to improve, but how do the weight affect Bud, negative or positive?
Again, you know, same outcome, gonna get the same results. We welcome the challenge. Let's go.
Am I right when I say this, Bo, when I feel like Bud is going to be even stronger to add the 7 pounds? Because I think that people are not understanding that he's been in this weight class for 5 years and 8 fights himself. And 35, he'll be 36 next month.
Right.
I think that he'll be even stronger at 154. Am I right in my assessment of that?
We just got to see. We just got to see. Like I said, I don't think anything is going to change. You know, we welcome the challenge.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.